Hello StarCraft fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Standard and puCK on Orbital Shipyard. I know, it says Solus, but it is puCK. He goes by Solus in the Legacy of the Void ladder. Alright, so it's a ZVP on Orbital Shipyard, and this is part of a replay pack that puCK sent me. It includes both wins and losses, so please do not think just because puCK sent me this replay that he automatically wins. In the top right of Orbital Shipyard, we have the red Zerg player. It is Standard. And in the bottom left of Orbital Shipyard, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Solus, representing Flipside Tactics. Standard throwing out the good luck, and a heart. Oh, how nice. puCK saying, hey, good luck. Always so nice to see the love going around between Protoss and Zerg players. So often they are enemies. So often they're at each other's throats, but here, both players are being nice and friendly, and that's the way that it should be on ladder, because come on, it's ladder. Nothing really matters out here. You're not playing for money, you're just playing to get better, and if you lose but you got better, then that was the goal, right? So let's all have a good attitude out there on the ladder as we wait and count down to the release of Legacy of the Void on November 10th of this very same year. That's only in a few days from now. I think it probably like 12 days at the time I post this. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. There goes the hatch first play there from Standard, waiting a little bit, even more waiting before he gets an extractor or a spawning pool, playing fairly greedy at this point, but again, you can afford to do that against Protoss just because it takes them so long to get a probe out to try to cannon you out. I haven't seen it a lot on my channel. I guess maybe that's because I kind of self-select replays and try to... Oh my goodness, we're going 3 hatch. We are 3 hatch from Standard. Yeehaw! Crazy stuff there. But what I was going to say is it could be there's a lot of cannon rushing going on. I'm just not familiar with it because I try to cast longer games just because they're more entertaining than just kind of a cheese where a cannon rush kills a Zerg or a cheese fails and the Zerg wins, and those are like 5-minute games. So anyway, there goes the spawning pool at 1 minute and 40 seconds at about 21 supply for Standard, and still no gas. There it is. There's the gas. Okay, I was going to say, without gas, you can't do too much against Protoss. You need those speedlings or you need those roaches to really deal with what's going to come your way. Or at least +1 lings, like slow lings. Nope, have to be speedlings. Nope, you can't do anything against Protoss unless you have speed or gas. That's pretty much how things are going to go. Double gas here with 3 workers. Oh, 3 workers here, 2 workers here for puCK. I wonder if that's a mistake or if that's intentional. I'm going to say I haven't seen it before, so I'm going to assume it is just a mistake, but there should be enough gas to get an Adept out regardless. There's the Cybernetics core. No Zealot coming out here. But the first thing that's going to pop is likely going to be an Adept, and no scouting really from the Zerg player except for these Overlords, which is fine because nothing crazy is happening. The probe checking things out. Has the probe found the 3rd base yet? No, it hasn't, but it's going to go for it. And there it is. Oh, pops right as the probe shows up. puCK says, oh, this is a greedy Zerg player indeed. Can I punish him? Or to just try to out-macro him, because puCK's macro is second to none. It's just fantastic. The way he's able to get up his armies very, very quickly and get right to the front of the Zerg's door and make him hate his life. So there comes the Adept. Indeed, there it is, chrono boosting out the Warp Gate research at the same time. And the question is, what's the Zerg player going to do? Getting speed immediately and an evolution chamber and +1. Alright, so +1 speedlings can be very good in the early game against Protoss. They do really well against Stalkers, they do well against Adepts, and even they do fairly well against Zealots, assuming the Zealots aren't very well upgraded themselves. So we'll have to see if this is going to be a defensive +1 Zergling play. That is something you used to have to do against the old 4-gate back in Wings of Liberty against Protoss, was you really had to get in there with +1 lings and spine crawlers and kind of SimCity your bases to where you could hold off that 4-gate when it showed up at your front door. So maybe that's something that Standard is preparing for, is defense. I can't really see any Ling attacks doing well against Protoss right now in Legacy of the Void, just because Photon Overcharge is a thing. And there's that Mothership Core bouncing back and forth. Again, I had somebody tell me the reason it bounces is because from a dead stop, Mothership Cores have a hard time getting moving again. But if she's bouncing and already moving, then you tell her to go somewhere. She just kind of swoops on over. She already has the momentum required to go where she needs to go, and it's a lot easier to do. So are we actually going to... There's the Stargate, and another double Stargate coming up here from puCK. Crazy times. Roach Warren on the way for the Zerg player as well, and a Warp Prism on the way. So here comes the Adept Harass, and there are some lings here. Speed isn't quite finished yet because that gas was so delayed, but no, that cancel on the Psionic Transfer. Resonating Glaives not researched yet. Don't think we're going to see him, just based on the fact there are 2 Stargates here. This is something puCK likes to do. He likes to get the Phoenix out out of these 2 Stargates, or he might just be going straight for carriers. I mean, honestly, if the Zerg player is not going to show up with anything for a while, it might be safe for puCK to just go for that carrier play, which can be very, very scary for the Zerg player. So we'll have to see how Standard reacts to this. I'm not sure if he has scouted those Stargates or not. No, he hasn't, but he's going to try to go for it here. Here comes the Overlord, slowly, slowly moving that vision across the map. And is he going to see the Stargate? I think he is. He does. He sees the Stargate. Is he going to see the second one? That's important. That's important to see that second Stargate. No, he doesn't see the second Stargate. And they are Phoenix. Out on the way. Speedlings out on the map. Do they have that +1? Did that actually finish? It did. These are +1 lings. All right, so they come right on in. They're going to try to deny this third base. I think they might be able to do it here, warping in a few adepts to try to deal with these +1 lings. Oh, they take down a pylon, and they get a second pylon to boot, and they might even be able to cancel that Nexus. Nope, instead they just run it out, but more and more lings are running across the map here at the same time. There are adepts moving in from the warp prism at the second base. The Queen is trying to deal with this, but by herself, she's not that good at doing that sort of a thing. The lings are waiting for their friends to go after this Nexus. A lot of lings are running down from that area, getting a full surround on this Nexus. I don't think puCK has what he needs to deal with this. The adepts aren't even really trying to help out. There are roaches coming here at the same time, and meanwhile 4 queens, 5 queens are enough to hold that off. Yahoo! Finally getting a cancel on the Nexus. Void Rays are out. The roaches are very, very useless at this point. What are they? Oh, okay. I was like, what are they attacking? Oh, they're attacking these plates. That makes a lot of sense. Warp Prism cannot find a place to land. There are lings, there are queens everywhere right now. Standard doing a great job getting those queens, man. Queen production can be very useful for base defense, especially against things like Phoenix, which there are definitely some in the way. And they also do pretty well against Void Rays at the same time. So, alright, so that was pretty cute. Canceling that third base was nice. These lings might be coming in for round 2 here, and my goodness, they are. Get right on in. They kill that probe immediately. Don't worry about the adepts, maybe trying to kill the adepts rather. There we go, getting some rounds on the adepts. The roaches coming in from the top side, going after the pylons, and forcing a cancel on the Nexus once again is Standard. And pow, there goes the adept, and Standard quickly backs on out, recognizing I don't have to push up this ramp. I don't have to kill the Protoss player. I probably can't because there are sentries here. But just delaying that third base while I have a third base of my own is enough. And Standard just playing this super fantastically well. Warp Prism moving up across the map, trying to check for the presence of a 4th, I think, and at the same time maybe swing around into the main base, see what can happen there. Infestation Pit, +1 Carapace on the way for Standard, and puCK is getting Immortals and replanting that third base once again. Ravagers morphing in. Ravagers can do fairly well against Void Rays if they hold still long enough with that Corrosive Bile. We'll have to see how they do. Corrosive Bile being thrown down on something. Was it? No, there was not. All right, here comes another attack. Once again, the lings trying to get it right on in. And the Ravagers, Corrosive Bile being thrown down on pylons. Another drop of adepts trying to kill workers back here, but all the main action is back this way. No, there are too many Void Rays, too many adepts, and an Immortal. Corrosive Bile landing on top of one of those Void Rays and actually getting a hit there. Surprisingly enough, this attack once again is still continuing, but the Queens are upset about this. Warp Prism picks him up, gets out of there. The Queens, once again, only able to look on in rage. So the Infestation Pit has finished. More and more lings on the way. Standard must be going for Ultras. I can't think of anything else he'd be doing at this point. Getting the upgrades for the Carapace. Getting some Spine Crawlers. He's just really sick of this Adept harassment. Getting Spine Crawler in that mineral line. Nowhere else, though. So he's not really sacrificing drones to get that static defense. It's 62 to 53 total Harvesters. Resources lost tab, 1,700 minerals for puCK have been lost, and 300 gas, and 2,662 minerals and 300 gas for Standard, and 15 drones have died thus far in this game. So fairly surprising stuff. Adept harass a little bit more effective than I would have thought. It's really happening at the same time that Standard was attacking down here, so it would make sense that his attention was divided, and the drone count, or the drone losses, were a little bit more than they normally would have been. Forge on the way, Robotics Bay on the way for puCK. Might be going for Colossus. That can be pretty good as well against this composition of Ravager Ling. It's a very strange composition. And, oh, there's a Stasis Ward. Just popped up right there. If you haven't seen this before, it is a ward that is permanently cloaked. It traps nearby units in stasis for 21 seconds. Trapped units cannot be attacked or affected by abilities. And so once you enter this circle here, it does a big trap of everything that comes on up. Oh, dropping all these queens. What? What? Queen drops from Standard. Oh, wow, this is amazing. Meanwhile, major attack over here, but we're going to bring it back down on here. This stasis catches a lot of these lings, but there are still Ravagers. There are still Queens here. The Queen's actually taking a huge chunk out of this Void Ray ball. Lings on top of Adepts. The Immortal trying to move backward with 7 kills of its own. This base is still severely under attack. The Spinecrawler doing a pretty good job holding it off at the same time. The Lings finally pop out of stasis, but the Queen's not sure they want to engage into here. Is the Mothership Core available? She is. She has enough for about, I want to say 7. Oh, the Disruptor comes on top of the Queens, greatly weakening all of them. Transfuses try to bring them up to help the Lings wrap her up, but I don't think this is enough. The Protoss Death Ball looking very good right now, especially with the Immortals in the back against these armored Queens. Run away, Queens. They can't. They can't run. They're not on creep. They are all going to die. These Overlords at the same time going to die. Standard is now supply blocked. His gamble did not exactly work out there. 12 Infestors on the way, though. 12 Infestors for Standard. All right, maybe for chain fungal growth or infested Terrans. That is so many Infestors. I have not seen this many Infestors ever. I guess there was a previous PvZ that I saw, subscriber submitted, I believe it was, where the player did go for Infestors against Protoss. It didn't work super well, though, so that doesn't bode well for Standard here. We will have to see what Solus or puCK is planning to do. Oh, and there it is. There's the fungal on top of pretty much all of the Void Rays, catching all the ground units as well. It is a chain fungal dance here, and actually starting to kill stuff. Surprisingly enough, Ravagers trying to lend their DPS to make this army die a little bit more quickly. Corrosive Bile on top of stuff at the same time, and a lot of stuff greatly weakened. A lot of Stalkers dead there. puCK saying, what on earth? I have not been chain fungled in a long time, possibly in years. Here come the Lings trying to hold off this retreat. There is a Mothership Core somewhere, though. Not with this army, though. And the Lings get a full wraparound right on top of those Adepts. Oh, no, the Infestors are going to their deaths, though, throwing in Infested Terrans Disruptor shot, taking down a few of the Infestors. At the same time, the Terrans finally pop out of their eggs, and they actually burn through air units surprisingly well for Infested Terrans. That Void Ray ends up dead at the same time. The Lings, again, their natural enemy, going against the Adept. Double Photon Overcharge chases them away, though. And still on 3 bases. Standard really needs to take a 4th base because, look, puCK has a 4th base. This is not great for the Zerg player. He needs to make something happen here, but he only has a couple Ravagers. Oh, there goes the Purification Nova. Oh, takes out a Ravager and a Queen, I think. Their Disruptor has 3 kills. This one, 9 kills there. The Purification Nova is so strong. At this point, the Lings are trying to get a surround on this Disruptor. They're going to be able to kill it. They are burrowed. Infestors coming up into the main base. Lings trying to get up here at the same time, just getting massacred on these Adepts and this Photon Overcharge. The Infestors are burrowed. They are not visible right now, getting into this mineral line, dropping a whole ton of Infested Terrans just to kill this base pretty much outright. The Lings actually going after the probes here, killing a surprising number of them, considering there are Void Rays overhead. And yep, the Nexus is going to get burned down very quickly. So puCK actually loses a mining base here, loses this gas, and the Infestors manage to get out, but Disruption Purification Nova killing a couple of the Disruptors. And how is there an Observer in there? Yeah, there's the Observer chasing these Infestors home. They're trying to make this work, but the Adepts are not going to let that happen. Nope, and the last Infestor dies. I always thought it was funny that burrowed units, when they die, they pop out of the ground and then explode and then die. Meanwhile, and we have, what, the Swarm Host attack? Swarm Host attack over here. Locusts trying to go after these Stalkers. Lings running in at the same time, burrowing the Swarm Hosts, trying to make something happen here, and actually doing a fairly good job of it. The Swarm Hosts ignore the army to the north. They're going to head on somewhere else. Sneaky base being taken here by puCK at the same time. And just running for their lives right now, or the Swarm Host. They know they can't stand and fight. Disruptor really wants to get a shot in here. Pretty good split from Standard. Till hits a couple of them. Not enough to one-shot a Swarm Host, but it's very close. It does do 155 damage, and Swarm Hosts have 160 hit points. So they make it back to the creep. They should be fine at this point. More Infestors on the way for Standard. This is anything but Standard play from the player named Standard, so go figure. Again, there go the Locusts. They have to fly for a little bit before they can land and actually attack, and they're actually fairly easy to run away from. At the same time, Chain Fungals on top of the Void Rays. Infestors do not want to die there, and there goes the Recall. Alright, so the Recall leaves behind a Stalker and an Adept, who get cleaned up. Poor Adept. Pushing on out this way, there are drones and queens over here. Drones attacking Adepts. You don't see that every day. Oh, good micro here from puCK, getting right on in there. Another attack, though. The Lynx getting on top of these cannons, trying to kill them so that the Swarm Host can finish off everything else, but the army shows up for puCK at pretty much the exact correct time, running for their lives, throwing down infested Terrans to cover their retreat. And once again, an Adept over here killing more stuff, just trying to make sure that puCK knows where the Zerg player wants to expand and when the Zerg player expands. Warp Prism once again chasing these Infestors. A whiff on the Purification Nova, but still very, very active with the Warp Prism. Coming around the left side are the Lings, trying to get somewhere, getting into the main. They might be able to do it. There is an Adept holding the line. They change their mind. They go for the third base, but instead run away. It is too well defended by puCK. There's nowhere to go. This is walled off. There are so many photon overcharges coming up. Mothership Core is actually almost out of energy, so not enough for a photon overcharge for at least another few seconds. Observer here scouting things on out. Roaches and so many more Infestors on the way. Melee attack level 2. Glial Reconstitution coming up for standard at the same time. And another attack down here with the Lings actually killing a bunch of probes and might be able to take out this Nexus as well once again. Purification Nova whiffing, not enough time in the 2 seconds to get down from the top of the ramp down here to actually kill these Lings. And Purification Nova is going off on one of these pylons, but I think this is enough. The Lings with the +1 attack do manage to take down the Nexus. They're going to get an assimilator at the same time. Another major attack over here does end up killing this base. And Swarm Host down here taking out all the probes. Working at this 4th base for puCK. The army heading home, very confident in killing that base. Standard needs to take another hatchery so very, very badly. Infested Terrans being thrown down. They want to kill this Nexus so bad. Infested Terrans running now. Just running for their lives, hoping that Observer doesn't show up in time. And yes, they do get the Nexus there as well. So Standard feels like he's just playing, what do I want to say here, on the edge of, trying to make this happen by the seat of his pants, I believe is the correct phrase. And Swarm Hosts moving around here to this base, they might be able to catch all of these workers here. Swarm Hosts are going to try to burrow, and they do. They throw down the Locust, they go after the workers, they trap one, and then they try to burn down this Nexus before it actually times out, and the Swarm Hosts do get caught. Pretty good split there, but the Disruptor does kill a couple of them, and the Nexus falls. So look at this, puCK is only down to a single Nexus. He has not been able to rebuild here. He has not rebuilt here or here thanks to this burrowed Zergling, and the Zerg player's down to nothing either. This is an econ match right now. Mass Infestor, chain fungling Stalkers, because why not? Chain fungling Adepts at the same time, because why not? The micro on display here is just insane. Purification Nova, oh, whiffing mostly there. A few Roaches and a few Ravagers trying to assist in the DPS. Infested Terrans being thrown down at the same time. Adepts coming from the bottom side trying to kill these Infestors and doing a fairly good job of it, running away because you don't want to stand here while Infested Terrans are shooting you in the face. The Void Rays actually do turn around though and take quite a bit of damage. All the Adepts get cleaned up in the bottom here. Purification Nova does kill a few Ravagers. I feel like I've seen that 100 times on my channel. They do so well against Ravagers, one-shotting those guys and their big targets as well. Warp Prism almost gets caught. It does get caught by the Fungal, and the Queens manage to burn it down. They do, and this Disruptor here trying to run away at the same time, getting fungled, burned down once again, and the Disruptor does end up almost falling. No, it doesn't. It manages to escape the Queens, attacking the Void Ray and the Oracle at the same time. This Disruptor is down to 4 hit points. It is so low on hit points. The Infestors want to kill it, but Purification Nova comes in and kills all of the Infestors. The Void Ray helping at the exact same time. A small ragtag group of army units here for Standard coming in once again. Locusts being thrown down. Corrosive Bile coming down at the same time. Units are just taking way too much damage for Standard. He needs to back on out, regroup with the rest of his army. I think he's trying to make sure that puCK hasn't taken another base, and no, puCK has not taken another base. There are 27 probes left for puCK and 56 drones for Standard, but again, I don't see anybody really looking to take another base at this point in time. puCK has lost 17,550 minerals and 4,800 gas. Standard has lost 18,000 minerals and 7,600 gas. 39 probes have died for puCK right now. Wow, so I think Standard is setting up to take this base here. Doesn't have enough money to do it yet. Super long distance mining. The army coming to take care of that very, very quickly. APM right now, 184 for puCK and 192 throughout this game for Standard. This has just been fantastic play from both of these players. Moving up onto the creep. Soulless puCK recognizing that he is visible while he's on the creep. And the question is, what can Standard do to deal with this? There are Queens, there are Infestors, and actually pulling drones. There is the Fungal coming from the left side and the right side. Corrosive Bile being thrown down at the same time. These units are pretty much stuck, but a bunch of Queens die. Thanks to the Purification Nova, workers getting force fielded away from the disruptors. The Voiders are still alive. Surprisingly still alive here. The drones getting burned down by Void Rays to save the disruptors. That is not something I've ever said before on this channel. The Oracle here with 0 kills, surprisingly throwing down Revelation on this army, recognizing it's good to know exactly where the Zerg army is at all times, has replaced this Nexus and moving all the probes down here. There are quite a bit of minerals left. There's quite a bit of gas left there. Quite a bit of gas left there as well. 1284 and 1248. Specifically, another attack over here. The Oracle now picking up kills, but still alive, trying to knock down this debris. And is there enough money for Standard to take this base yet? No, he has long distance mining from both of these bases right now. I think finally the Oracle did end up dead there, but throwing down this Revelation has been a very, very useful indeed. They need to fungal. They do. They fungal the disruptors, but Purification Novas come down. Good split, but no. One disruptor dies. Another one takes down the eggs before they can hatch. This disruptor micro has been pretty darn amazing from puCK, to be entirely honest with you. The drones are still long distance mining. This base is up. These guys don't have to long distance mine, that's for sure. puCK in a very strong position right now. The army moving up, going to try to deny this hatchery, and it's not even halfway built yet. And yes, doesn't even get the cancel off. Standard is out of money at this point. It's going to take them a long time to long distance mine again. Purification Nova on top of those Infestors kills every single Infestor. No, says Standard, is defeated, leaves the game, and puCK is victorious here at the 20-minute mark. Wow. I mean, I know I say this a lot, but I feel like the MVP of that game really was the Disruptor. Purification Nova was so strong, killed so many units, so many Infestors died to that, so many Queens died to that, so many Ravagers died to that. 11 Ravagers died, 50 Infestors died in this game. It was pretty much Ling Infestor with a smattering of Swarm Hosts and Roaches and Queens from Standard. Such a weird strategy. Almost worked though. Almost pulled it out. puCK, meanwhile, did end up losing 4 Disruptors, 56 Adepts of his own, 10 Void Rays, and 4 Nexuses. 4 Nexi were destroyed by Standard, but it wasn't enough. It definitely was not enough. The army was too strong at the end. He didn't have anything to deal with the remaining Void Rays in the air and the Disruptors. 19 kills on that one, 5 kills on that one, and that was it. So, fantastic play all around. This might be one of my favorite PBZs of all time. Just great stuff from both of these players. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching today. This has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. Stick around to listen to the music and the end slate that shows you where you can find my stuff. It's really nice music. Visit the SoundCloud site as well to see more from this artist. I should have more songs from him in the next couple weeks or so, so look forward to that. And that's about it. Until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.